Hi, this is video number 236, Withdrawal Warriors Worldwide, a Fellowship, Purpose and Identity. 1. We are an international fellowship of individuals who have chosen to discontinue the use of prescribed psychotropic drugs. 2. Our sole purpose is to support one another, both individually and collectively, as we each travel the road to freedom from the use of prescribed psychotropic drugs and their adverse effects, both while we are taking the drugs and as we withdraw from them. 3. For the purposes of this fellowship, we are not licensed medical doctors, therapists, counselors, psychologists, or licensed in any other medical occupation or profession, nor do we claim to be licensed medical staff with respect to this fellowship. 4. We do not offer medical advice. As such, it is important for each member of this fellowship to be in contact with appropriate medical staff as he or she undertakes the endeavor to discontinue the use of prescribed psychotropic drugs. 5. This fellowship has no opinion concerning the current general practice of prescribing psychotropic drugs or any other social issues. 6. All opinions and information offered in this fellowship will be based on existing, generally accepted information in the literature, personal observation, and personal experience. 7. There are no dues, fees, or any other financial aspect related to this fellowship. Pillars and Truths. 1. Our journey from the discontinuation of prescribed psychotropic drugs through withdrawal to a place of wellness is a process. 2. We are all different. No one else can feel what you feel. Each person goes through and experiences the process in a manner that is unique to him or her. No two individuals experience the process in exactly the same way. We will each have a different story to share when we reach wellness. We will each have different symptoms with different intensities. We will each notice improvement in different ways and at different times. We will each have our own time frame for healing. 3. There is no perfect way to taper from psychotropic drugs. However, under no circumstances is it wise to cold turkey from psychotropic drugs. 4. The brain is continually trying to heal in its own unique way during the withdrawal from psychotropic drugs, even though there are times when it feels like no healing is occurring. 5. Even though the myriad of strange, intense symptoms during withdrawal causes us to feel or believe we have developed a mental disorder, we have not. 6. Often the symptoms of withdrawal lead us to fear that we have developed some other empirically diagnosable condition. In such cases, it is best to be checked by a doctor, if only to provide us peace of mind. 7. Currently, the passing of time is the only known way to effect healing from psychotropic drugs, although there is hope that a quicker way to healing will be discovered in the future. As such, withdrawal is a matter of surviving until wellness is reached. Anything that helps us to pass time is beneficial. 8. Acceptance that we are in withdrawal and that it will take time is necessary in reaching wellness. Blaming ourselves or others for our current predicament does no good and is counterproductive. It is what it is, and it will get better. 9. It is absolutely necessary for us to keep hope alive during the withdrawal process. We need to reach out to anything or anyone to maintain hope. 10. It is important for us to seek positive, hopeful input from wherever we can find it. Places of negativity and confrontation of any sort should be avoided. 11. We must be careful of what we read and believe. It is important to realize that nearly everyone in the withdrawal forums and Facebook groups is also in withdrawal. They are also afraid and have cognitive issues. For this reason, harmful misinformation and fear abound. In withdrawal, the power of suggestion is enormous. 12. All of the bizarre, painful, and fearful thoughts and feelings we have in withdrawal are distortions caused by the withdrawal itself and have no place in reality. Okay, the promises. These promises are primarily from Alcoholics Anonymous, pages 83 and 84, with slight modification. 1. If we painstakingly adhere to these pillars and truths, we will each make it to the place of wellness and will be amazed when we get there. 2. We are going to know a new freedom and a new happiness. 3. We will not regret the past nor wish to shut the door on it. 4. We will comprehend the word serenity and we will know peace. 5. No matter how far down the scale we have gone, we will see how our experience can benefit others. 6. That feeling of uselessness and self-pity will disappear. 7. We will lose interest in selfish things and gain interest in our fellows. 8. Self-seeking will slip away. 9. Our whole attitude and outlook upon life will change. 10. Fear of people and of economic insecurity will leave us. 11. We will intuitively know how to handle situations which used to baffle us. 12. We will realize that God has done for us what we could not do for ourselves. Are these extravagant promises? We think not. They will always materialize as we reach wellness. Okay. Beautiful day again here today. Breezy, nice and warm. I was out to the church earlier. There was a church or a tree in the prayer garden that I don't know if it got hit by lightning or what. It was not a really big tree, but something hit it, and one of the main trunk stems split, and there was a big limb on either side of it. It's been there for like a couple weeks. Nobody's gone out and done anything with it. So I went out with my kind of like a rip saw. It's a combination like rip saw, carpenter saw, kind of a cross between those two things. I went out and cut it, and there were some other guys out there too, and cut it up real good, and we put it on a trailer and took it down and dumped it in a fence row near the softball field that our church has. So did that. I had a workout this morning. That was nice. Haven't had many of those in the last few weeks. When I was out at the church, I discovered that it's National Donut Day, so maybe I'll stop by the grocery store and pick up some donuts. I very rarely eat a donut. I often go years between donuts. I used to eat a lot of them. I could sit and eat easily half a dozen by myself with either coffee or a glass of milk. So maybe I'll go out there and get some of those. I don't know. My wife's still sick. She's really sick. It's unusual because my wife, we've been married 36 years, and probably the number of times she's been really sick, maybe 10, probably not even 10. So it's really rare when she gets sick. She called over to the doctor's office. They couldn't take her, so she went to an urgent care facility nearby. She has a sinus infection, and they gave her, for the sore throat, she had a terrible sore throat, prednisone, which she doesn't like taking extra drugs, but she's in a lot of pain. And then they gave her an antibiotic too, so hopefully in the next day or so things will be looking up. But it's unusual for her she's been like laying on the sofa and just sick, blowing her nose, and it's bad. Let me see. Watched the Killer Shrews again yesterday. It's becoming a cult with me. It is. I'll probably watch it until I have it all memorized. I don't know. Watched the little women's college softball last night. That's on again tonight. Maybe that's what I'll watch. So that's kind of what's going on here right now. It's been a good day, good workout. Got to go outside and do some stuff. That's always nice. I have a Facebook message, and let me see. Talk a little bit about an email. I'm not going to read an email unnecessarily. I'm going to read one, but not this particular one. Just talk about it a little bit that I got from someone who just discovered. I mean, she was told about my site and just sent me an email last night. I'll talk about that a little bit. First one is a Facebook message. It says, "Hi Don, yes, it's me again. I really need your opinion on something. I'm really at my wit's end with this, trying to practice acceptance. My physical stuff seems to be getting worse, spreading all over. Of course, I think all the time it's something else. The latest one is autoimmune disease. I do EFT tapping and have found Dr. Kim Diaramo of the Mind Body Medicine Institute. I'm beginning to wonder if when we get to this stage like me, over 3 years out with no improvement, that we are stuck in this state, unable to heal ourselves. A lot of the conditions she treats are similar in nature to benzo withdrawal as in the symptoms. Her videos are very good on YouTube, and I do her EFT ones. She healed herself from something or other and comes across as great. This has now opened a big can of worms that I'm not allowing healing to take place, as my brain is stuck in this groove, which is making anxiety and fear worse. I'm a very sensitive sort and wondered if these types are the sort that get to this state with this going on and maybe developing to something else. I don't know. Is it within ourselves to heal? Am I doing something wrong? I worry incessantly rather than just believing I will heal. Again, if I'd had a sizable window, I don't think I would worry so much that I'm doomed. Does this make sense? Is time the only answer right now? Yet I'm incapable of doing anything else. The tapping helps for a bit, and then the doubts and fears start again. I'm in a state again. Thanks and always for always being there and being a lifeline. P.S. Did you ever fear you had an autoimmune disease? Okay. Okay. The first thing I want to answer here is, let me see. Again, if I had a sizable window, I don't think I would worry so much that I'm doomed. Yes, you would. I get a lot of people, they get really, really good windows and they're happy and everything, and then they get nailed with a wave and it's like they forgot about the window, or I don't know. It's just like they forget about it and like they feel like they're doomed. So that does not necessarily. I know you think like when you've had no improvement, it's like, well, gee, if I had a little bit, that would give me. But that's just the way withdrawal is. You get a good window and then you get hit with a wave, and it's almost like the window never happened. Anyway, let me go here. Start at the beginning. Okay, a lot of times, and I'm not saying every time. A lot of times, like when someone's far out, many months out, and things get worse, like in a big way, like getting new symptoms, and that is a sign that there's change. Change is happening. Good change, not bad change. Like this is not going the other way. Like she's kind of implying, like, am I just like falling into the pit of that I'll never get out of? That's not what's happening here at all. Okay, autoimmune disease. To answer the last question, I don't know that I ever. I thought at the beginning, in the first few months, I worried that I had everything. I would Google everything, and like I got so tired of it after a while. I didn't even care. Like I thought, well, maybe I will get a disease and die, and that'll be good. So my mind got weary after a while, just worrying it's this, that, or the other. Okay, the EFT, I did some EFT as she's talking about here. That did help me. It was a good thing for me. Let me see. Okay, a lot of people worry, and I worried too about this. Like you think, and what doesn't help is I noticed a lot of times in the groups, in especially the forums. The first forum I was on before Benzo Buddies, and then in Benzo Buddies too, every once in a while somebody would come in and say like, well, you have to pull yourself out of this. And they were in a really, really bad way for like months. And then finally they started getting better, and they say, well, I pulled myself up by my bootstraps. I did this, this, and this, and that helped me, and it pulled me out. You people were wimps. You got to get on with it. You got to do what I did. Well, that's not true. It's not a matter of trying harder, trying this, trying that, trying the other. That's not what this is about at all. This is your brain has physically been injured. It has been injured. It is repairing itself. There is the thing that you would use to help yourself get through this is what's injured. So it doesn't make any sense that, okay, if it's not injured, then yeah, like for me, when I started feeling better, when the injury was getting better, when I started feeling better, I could actually start to help myself, pull myself along a little bit more. I had some strength, in my mind that I could start doing some things. But until then, like your brain is injured and you can't, I know it because you rely on your brain all of your life to get you out of these situations, to resolve things, but it's injured. So it can't resolve that because it's injured, and the injury is to itself. A lot of these things, these self-help, mind over matter, power of positive thinking things, they might be good for a lot of things in life, but they don't work for this. And a lot of people, they might help some. There probably are some therapies maybe that could help. And I'm thinking, I mentioned Chris Page before, and I'm not exactly sure what all he uses, but it's different as far as I understand. That's my understanding. So there could be, and he's been in benzo withdrawal, so he knows, he kind of has that advantage over other people doing therapy, that what will and won't work. So, but as far as like the standard therapies that have been used over the years, it's not something that really helps here so much. I've read of a few people saying it helped them. I don't know. So she's asking, am I doing something wrong? No, you just get through time. That's kind of like one of the pillars and truths. You use time is right now. That is the answer. And why some people have no improvement for a really, really long time, I don't know. I have a good idea, but I don't know exactly. Let me see. There was something else here I wanted to talk about. Maybe not. Time is the answer, yes. tapping, yes, that does help. That did help me some to get through time. Okay, the autoimmune disease, I don't, nah. That's just one thing that out of like, there are probably dozens of things that you could conjure up in your head that you might have. It's just the withdrawal, and it will get better. I know it's hard. This is hard to trudge through this for so long, but I have seen people get better 3, 4, 5 years. I mean, I've seen it. And it's not typical that someone goes that long. It's really not, but it does happen. Obviously, it happens. So I don't, you don't have an autoimmune disease. It's just that's just the fear in your withdrawal, doing this to you. You just keep on keeping on. You get through time. And I have noticed a lot of times that, especially people who are pretty far out, symptoms start to change. They can intensify and get new symptoms, and you think like, well, I'm doomed. When in fact, it's your brain's way of healing, getting through this, and it's actually a good sign. So you just keep trudging along. Okay, this email that I want to talk about, I'm not going to actually read it. It was from someone who, they have a friend who told them about this website. She's a young lady. She's 18 months off benzos. She's postpartum. She had a baby not too awfully long ago, I guess. And she's being told, like, it's the other drugs, But she also said in her email, she has the gut feeling that it's not the other drugs. So that's good. That's great, because it's like she's 18 months off, and you think that, well, 18 months, it's something else must be wrong. This can't possibly be withdrawal. Well, it can. I mean, I read emails here all the time. People who are 18 months or longer and still struggling, and they're not taking anything else. So she has this gut feeling that it's just withdrawal. It's not the other drug. So that's good. I wrote back to her, and I told her about a young lady that I had helped a number of years ago, who she had postpartum depression. Then they drugged her for like a year or so, and then she withdrew, and she got well. It took quite some time. She had hers was unusual. She had the mental stuff for several months, and that kind of like dissipated somewhat, except for the fear. And then she got a lot of physical stuff. And then she gradually did get well, and she became pregnant again and had a baby. So, I mean, you get well, you do get through this, but it's hard. So anyway, I'm glad she had that gut feeling that, like, I don't think that's what it is, the other drugs. Okay, this one, I got an email a little bit ago, right before I ate lunch. See where I'm going to start with this. Okay, here's an email I'm going to start with an email from a year ago. Okay, this was on the 8th of June last year. Hey, Don, my name is so-and-so. Renee, she was someone I had helped through withdrawal over a couple years or so. Renee suggested I contact you. I'm a single mom trying to recover from my 0.5 milligram Klonopin I was prescribed for years for anxiety and insomnia. I just took my last dose 1 week ago and suffering unimaginable depression and insomnia. I have never been depressed before all this mess. I'm afraid to be alone, and I can't have my daughter see me so depressed like this. I might need a place to stay for a couple of weeks. Feel free to ask me anything. Okay, that's back when it wasn't too off. Well, it was a while after we actually did have a place here where I had someone come and stay during withdrawal. But anyway, okay, she was only like a week off about when she sent me this. So that was the first one she sent me. And then over the course of the last, I heard from her just a little bit ago, but and about over this 1 year, we have probably messaged back and forth. It's hundreds, like 700 times or so, just almost every day, multiple times over. Because she was terrible, she was awful. And she is there was that, and then way back, long time, I wrote those first 2 papers, okay, and the second paper, like benzodiazepines, what have they done to my brain? That was the name of the paper. Actually, that was the first paper. I'm not sure if the second paper was similar, but in the second paper, I talk about like the brain's memory and this and that, and it possibly, depending on like whether my hypothesis was right, ECT maybe could be something. I wasn't telling anybody to do ECT, but she picked up on that, okay, and she had ECT done at the end of October of last year, okay? And she had like 4, 5, 6 treatments altogether. And she did have some memory loss for a while. That has all returned. But the first 2 or 3, she had it done, and she was well. She was good. She was able to go out shopping with her daughter and do all kinds of things and enjoy life. And then slowly, like, the fear and different things came back in really big time again. So her withdrawal kind of like did return, but ECT helped a little, hit really well for a while, and then it just got bad again. So to me that was interesting. The ECT, it kind of did what I was thinking it would do, but it didn't, which leads me to believe that there was actually something else going on, which I've talked about before, the whole amygdala neurite thing going on. I think there's something to that, that these 2 people wrote the paper on it. But anyway, that's not my point here. Okay, and then like she had, okay, last summer, end of summer, beginning of fall, I think, she learned of someone in Colorado who had gone through withdrawal. So she went out there for like a month or so, and it was a horrendous experience, the fear and terror and everything. That didn't do her any good. It didn't do her any favors. So she came back. That's when I think she had the ECT, when she came back, and that, and as I said, like, there's over 700 emails back and forth between us. We talked a lot on the phone over the course of a few months there. So anyway, today, I had forgotten, I hadn't heard from her in quite some time now. And so today, I'm right before, I ate my lunch after I get home from the church. And this is a good email. She sent me a good email. She says, 1 year Klonopin free. She says, I couldn't have done it without you. And a whole bunch of exclamation points. Thank you so incredibly much. I'm also 20 weeks pregnant today. Halfway there. Okay, it's a girl. And smiley faces. I'm doing so much better and slowly improving. Hope you have a wonderful weekend. This is great. This is like, she's a year today, and she's getting better. She is getting better. And it goes to show you that everybody heals at different times and in different ways. That's just the nature of this. Because you're out a long way does not mean that you're not going to heal. I mean, you're going to heal. It just takes, this is your way, this is your brain's way of healing. And like for people who are at the beginning of this, like this young lady is, she's getting there. She's slowly, but she's much better. So that's great. She actually lives about an hour and a half from me, and she actually came here twice with her boyfriend. We sat and talked. She's a different sort of person. She's, of all of the people I've met in this, and I've met hundreds, there's something a little different about her. She's very, it's the word, resilient. She's a very resilient person. It really is amazing. She holds I've never, like, no ill will, or, I mean, she doesn't like all of the things that happened to her. She's had some other issues like before too, but she's not one to, she's very good at not being bitter and resentful. She just takes the punches and goes on. I've never actually met anyone quite like her. So anyway, she's just doing better. That's awesome, because I like getting emails like this when people come back and say, hey, I'm doing better. Because I hadn't heard from her, and it's been a few months. Every now and then, like, people, when I look at my, I have a number of email accounts. I keep a file pretty much for emails for different people. And over the course of time, I'll look sometimes at these files, like the names of the file. And it's not, I don't remember those people sometimes because there's been so many. And a lot of times somebody will message with me 2, 3 times and that's it. And I never hear from them again. I think a lot of those people actually get better and just, they go on with life. So she was sort of like becoming one of those in a way. I hadn't heard from her in a while. And then there's another one. I think she lived in maybe Pennsylvania, actually. She moved down to Florida. Okay. And every now and then I'll hear from her too. And she's getting better. She was a dental hygienist. And she was really having a hard time up here. She moved. She dreaded moving, I think. Her boyfriend, I think, moved down there. Yeah. And so she moved down there. And she, every now and then, like every month and a half, I'll get a little note from her, a couple sentences that, asking me like different symptoms of this, that, and what's this mean, what's that mean. She's getting better, I can tell. She's just, and it's nice when like people come back and say, hey, it's, I appreciate that because it's not just for me, but for like, I can come on here then and tell you about it. Like, hey, this person that, like, I helped a while ago, like they're getting better. They're actually getting better. And she said in her first email to me back in like a year ago that Renee, who was someone I had helped for a number of years actually, who went through this, it was very, very hard for her, recommended that, this young lady talk with me, contact me. So Renee's better, this young lady's better, the lady down in Florida. People do get better. I mean, they really, really do. And I get to see that, and I get to tell you about it, and that's what this is all about. That's what this is all about. You do get better. You really, really do. And I know when you're going through it, it doesn't seem like it's possible, because you don't hear you don't hear emails like that a lot. But I get them. I really do. I would like to get more. It's a slow process for some people, I guess. And there are people that over the course of the last however many years, 5 or 6 years I've been doing this now, a lot of people will contact me and I don't hear from them again. I think they just there's some of those fortunate ones who like they get well pretty quick, pretty early on, and then they don't hear from them anymore. And that's okay. That's okay. But it's always nice when somebody comes back and does me good, and then I know it does you good too, because you do get well from this. You really, really do. It's not going to be like this forever. Trust me on that one, because I thought, no way, this is impossible. All these success stories, these people are lying to me. This can't possibly be true. And they even say that it's like life is better than it ever was. Like how can that even be? That seems illogical almost. But when you're in withdrawal, nothing seems logical in withdrawal. Everything seems doom and gloom and impossible. But now that I can step back, I'm well. I can step back and look at it and see, yeah, it makes all kinds of sense. Like the way people get well and why there is so much variability. It makes a lot of sense, really. But anyway, I'll let you go here. I'm at 27 minutes. Not sure what tonight will be like. We'll probably no dinner being made in this house tonight because my wife's she's not well. She really, in a big way, is not well. So she's supposed to go into my son flew out to Colorado today to see a friend, his best friend, who moved out there a couple months ago. So he's having a garage sale at his house. Their whole development's having a garage sale. So my wife and my daughter are going to go in there early in the morning and get everything out of the garage and put it out in the driveway and put prices and this and that. And I'm thinking I'm going to be doing that if my wife's not well. So I'll be getting up at like probably 5 o'clock or something and going in there, and probably still be dark. I don't know, but not exactly what I want to do. But like if she's not well, then I could go in there and sit and talk to my daughter. Well, I haven't had a heart-to-heart with her for quite some time, so probably do us both good. I don't know. Anyway, I'll let you go here. Friday, beginning of the weekend. I know weekends are tough. I know that. Maybe this will be a good one. You never know. Every once in a while, like once I started feeling better, like sometimes the weekends I'd have little bursts of like where the depression would lift, and I'd have like higher spirits, and I could see like, well, yeah, maybe I am going to get better here. Maybe it's going to happen. So you never know. You never know. It's healing is happening. It's always happening, and you never know when you're going to get that burst of like what do you want to call it, like joy or something light and happy and good, and you can actually feel something like, yeah, I'm not gonna stay like this forever. I'm actually going to be better. I can feel it. That does happen. It does. And the first Facebook message I wrote there, or I read rather, she's been at this a long time. She's deserving of some light here soon, and I think it's going to happen. I think maybe this kind of like wave thing going on here last several months here, maybe it's a sign that like, hey, it's going to burst here now and things are going to start to improve. That's my prayer for her. It's my hope, really it is. So anyway, I'll let you go. As always, I'm right here and I will be right here. See you tomorrow. Bye-bye.